Hello students, welcome. Today we are going to learn poem 1.3 The Pilgrim from our English textbook, from our Balbati textbook. This poem is written by an anonymous poet. That means the identity of the poet is unknown. So let's see what is there in this poem. A pilgrim going a lone highway. First of all, we will recite the first para. A pilgrim going a lone highway came at evening cold and grey to a chasm deep and vast and wide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The chasm had no fear for him, but he passed when he reached the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. So, let's see paragraph 1, stanza 1. A pilgrim going to a lone highway came at evening, cold and grey, to a chasm deep and vast and wide. A pilgrim going to a lone highway means a pilgrim. Pilgrim means what? Any person who is traveling for a religious views. Means we all know at the time of, for example, I'll give our one example, that at the time of Ashadi Ekadashi, many of the people are traveling from their hometown to where they are traveling. From their hometown to they are traveling to Pandharpur. So what they do while they are traveling, they sing some songs, sing some abhangas of Lord Vitthal, or they sing some mantras. So pilgrim means a person who is traveling for an religious view, who recite some chants, who recite some abhangas, or who recite some religious, who recite some God's songs. So it's known as pilgrim. Okay, this pilgrim was going a lone highway, means he was walking through an lone highway. See, this pilgrim, this is known as a pilgrim. So this pilgrim is walking through an lone highway, and when he was walking to a lone highway means there was nobody on the highway. The road was empty. There was no person and no one on the highway. Came at evening cold and grey means it was an evening. The evening was very cold and grey. Grey means the sun was setting. There was it was there was a time where the sun is going to set. So cold and grey means the evening where the sun is going to set, and it was an coldest evening. To a chasm deep and vast and wide. So he reached to where? He reached near chasm. Chasm means, so this is a type of chasm. Means this should be a chasm where gap a gap in the earth's surface. So this is a gap in the earth's surface, and it and in the gap there may be water. So when the water is filled, we don't know the depth of the water, so we don't know the depth of this chasm. But here the chasm was wide and deep. What the poet is saying? Poet is saying the chasm was deep, vast means very big, and wide. So the old man crossed in the twilight dim. So as an old man, he was an experienced man. So from this sentence, we understand that the pilgrim was an old man, and we all know that all the old peoples are having a great experience than the young ones. So he crossed the chasm in the twilight dim. Twilight dim means setting sun, less light, which is having a less light. We all know when it's time of setting sun, the light in the surrounding gets dim. Okay, the light gets lesser and lesser. So the chasm had no fear for him. So he was not afraid of that chasm because he was an experienced person. He crossed that chasm very easily. But he paused when he reached the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. So what he did, he paused. When he reached the other side, he paused. And he started thinking that now how the young people, or how the young pilgrim, the youngsters will cross this chasm. They are not experienced, and as we know that chasm is having a water body in it, we don't they will also not they will not understand the depth of the chasm, and it will have they will have some difficulty to cross this chasm. So what he did, he decided, he concerned very deeply about the safety of the young ones or the inexperienced youth who may follow him in the near future. So what he did, he built one bridge to span the tide. Span the tide means what? Cross over the tide of water, means cross over that water. So what he did, he built a bridge so that the young people or the new one will be able to cross this chasm, and they will not face any difficulties. So I hope you all understand paragraph number 1, sorry, stanza 1 of this poem. We will see the stanza 2 and stanza 3 in our next part. Thank you.